live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Good evening. Welcome to the National News Telecast, coming to you live from ChannelEye Rupavahini. I'm Movin Hettiarachchi, joined together with Dhuranjali Ananda. At first, a look at the headlines. Rambukkana police curfew continues. Multiple investigations regarding the incident. A police statement regarding the Rambukkana protest. An inquiry to find out whether police officials exceeded their powers. The parliament gets heated during a discussion of the Rambukkana incident. Armored protection for fuel transport. The World Bank expresses readiness to provide emergency aid to Sri Lanka. Russian attacks on 1,053 targets in Ukraine in the past 24 hours. At first, a look at the top story. Today, the police headquarters has stated that the police was compelled to use force at the Rambukkana incident, as it had become imperative to suppress the protest in order to prevent it escalating into a rebellion.
Several police groups are engaged in investigations on the incident. A police curfew is being continuously enforced in the Rambukkana Police Division. A group which has arrived at the filling station near the Rambukkana railway track around 1 a.m. yesterday commenced an agitation after finding out that there was no fuel at the station. By dawn of the day, a group has blocked the railway line in Rambukkana, causing obstructions to train transport. During the time of the protest, the Rambukkana police station has mediated for bringing of 2 fuel barges to fulfill the demands of the people.
However, when the first bowser arrived in Rambukkana, the protesters were blocking the railway crossing, preventing the movement of the bowser. The agitator has deflated the tires and removed the battery of the vehicle.
When the second bowser reached the Rambukkana town, the protesters took it into their control and demanded to serve fuel at prices that prevailed before the price increases. Their behavior has been extremely chaotic. As a result, not a single train has been able to pass through Rambukkana. The police have continuously warned the agitators to leave the scene of protest since morning.
Protesters ignored the warning and remained at the location for more than 12 hours. Some unruly mobs set fire to the three-wheeler and attempted to ignite the bowser. When the protesters failed to heed the continuous warnings of the police was forced to use force. When the protesters threw stones at the police, it had become necessary to launch a tear gas attack.
Some had attempted to attack the police officers guarding the bowser carrying 30,000 litres of fuel. In the first instance, the police have fired to the air in order to control the crowd. But as they could not be controlled, the situation was not able to be controlled, an order has been given to shoot below the knee of the protesters.
IGP CD Vikramaratne said at first they attempted to control the crowds by shooting into the air. He added, however, when this was not effective in controlling unruly behavior, an order was given to shoot below the knees of the protesters as a means to disperse the crowd.
Co-Secretary of the Sri Lanka Petroleum Private Tankers Owners Association, D.V. Shanta Silva, said that the incident has taken place in Rambukana around 8:40 in the morning. The bowser left the Muthurajavela terminal, and when it arrived in Rambukana police station, there was a large crowd at the station. He further said that serious damages have been caused to the tankers. D.V. Shanta Silva
D.V. Shanta Silva also said after the incident, drivers and assistants of all tanks have informed them that they are unable to engage in duties under the prevailing chaotic circumstances. Tires of the vehicles were cut and batteries removed. If the tank was set on fire, the outcome could not have been predicted. The tank contained both diesel and petrol. A blaze in petrol browser would have spread profusely and destruction could not have been visualized.
අමාරු මොකද ලීටර් 33000ක ටැංකියට අතයක් තමයි ඊයේ ආපදාවට ලක් වුනේ.
11 police officers, including an assistant superintendent of police, were injured in the incident. Some of the rioters were injured have also been hospitalized. The police says one person was killed in the incident. The victim was a 38-year-old father of 2 children in Narambada, Kegal. The police further said though the dead person had been identified as a university employee by social media, he was unemployed. 28 individuals are still undergoing treatment in hospitals.
Senior DIG Ajit Rohana said that the culprits were acting as members of an illegal gang. The police have taken precautions not to turn this into a riot. According to the police, used power to disperse the crowd. The senior DIG also said that the senior in charge of the Sabaragama province will conduct a full investigation with the approval of the IGP. Senior SSP Avisavela Vasantha Kandewata has been appointed for the probe. The group headed by him has already commenced inquiries. A police curfew enforced last night in the Rambukana Police Division is being continuously enforced until further notice. Meanwhile, IGP CD Vikramaratne says that an inquiry on the police headquarters level is also scheduled to be conducted to find out whether police officials had exceeded their limits in controlling the agitation. Senior DIG Ajit Rohana says that investigations relating to the Rambukana incident are already underway.
He further briefed about the situation and said the status of the ongoing investigation in a statement to the national television today.
According to the police officers who conducted the operation, this particular campaign or the protest had commenced at 1 o'clock last morning. Then thereafter, crowd had been increased, and after that, the police had deployed several police teams in order to maintain the law and order situation in the area. And they were demanding fuel. Then thereafter, police had informed the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation, and 2 bouncers had been got down. After that, the police had informed filling station, distribute fuel. Then thereafter, there had been a clash between the parties. And after that, a panic situation had been arisen, and there was an unlawful assembly. And according to the circumstances and the existing situation in the area, the police were compelled to use force. And accordingly, one person had been critically injured, and he had been admitted to Kegal Hospital, and his death has been reported. In addition to that, another 13 have been injured and they are being treated. In addition to that, 20 police officers, including 1 SSP, 2 ASP, 1 SI, 1 IP, 6 police sergeants and 10 police constables have been injured in the incident. A special police team headed by SSP Mr. Vasantha Kandewata the SSP in charge of Avissavella has been appointed by Senior DIG Sabaragamuwa Province on instructions of Inspector General of Police. The team consists of 20 police officers, including 3 assistant superintendents of police, and now they have commenced the investigation. In addition to that, the facts have been reported to the court, and accordingly, court has initiated magisterial inquest in respect of the death. Judicial medical officer would conduct a post-mortem in respect of the dead body. In addition to that, the police have made the request from the court, order the government analyst to visit the scene and express his opinion about other scientific circumstances and the evidence at the scene. The special police team is conducting investigation, and all the evidence or the statements of the witnesses will be recorded. In addition to that, the police officers who took part in the operation, their statements will be recorded, and all the evidence will be laid before the magistrate. And in terms of the provisions of the Chapter 30 of the Criminal Procedure Code, the magisterial inquest would be conducted. According to the police officers, they said that they acted in terms of the provisions of Section 56 of the Police Ordinance, Section 107 of the Criminal Procedure Code, and Chapter 8 of the Criminal Procedure Code, and in addition to that, Sections 89 to 99 of the Penal Code. So finally, the verdict will be given by the magistrate court, and police are ready to implement, or the police are ready to act according to the verdict given by the magistrate court, having conducted the magisterial inquest.
President Gotabaya Rajapaksa says that he was immensely saddened and grieved by the tragic incident that has taken place in Rambukana. The president, making a note in his Twitter account, says that all Sri Lankans have the right to engage in protests in a peaceful manner. President Rajapaksa also requests all citizens to refrain from engaging in harmful acts while conducting agitations. The president, in his Twitter message, also points out that the Sri Lanka police will conduct an unbiased and transparent investigation into the Rambukana incident. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa, also issuing a Twitter message, has expressed his sincere regrets over the Rambukana incident. He also says that the Sri Lanka police, which has always performed an honourable service, would conduct a fair investigation into the incident. The Prime Minister has also called upon all protesters to use their civil rights with equal dignity for all when engaging in agitations. The Ministry of Public Security has appointed a committee to conduct an investigation into the police shooting to disperse protesters at the agitation in Rambukana town yesterday. The relevant committee has been appointed by Secretary to the Ministry, retired Major General Jagat Alvis. Chairman of the 3-member committee is Secretary to the State Ministry of Community Police Services, SD Kodikara. The other members are in Additional Secretary to the Ministry of Public Security, Mrs. MSP Surya Peruma, and Legal Advisor to the Ministry of Defence, retired Major General E.S. Jayasinghe. The committee has been instructed to forward expeditiously their report with relevant recommendations and observations to the Secretary to the Ministry of Public Security upon conducting an independent investigation. A debate was held in Parliament today over this tense situation occurred in Rambukana area yesterday.
Several parliamentarians from both opposition as well as the ruling party made remarks in this regard.
Former Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe said that many problems have cropped up in the country after the Rambukana incident. A dangerous situation has been created in the country today. He further said that we must decide what should be done next. There is a possibility of the spreading of riots to other areas as well. Our alternative actions have been restricted. Ranil Wickremesinghe also said that he knows personally the person killed in the incident. He added that he talked with the wife of the victim. He also said they have to take measures for the welfare of the family.
මියගිය පුද්ගලයාගේ භාර්යාවටත් කතා කරා. ඒ පවුල ගැනත් අපි වැඩ කටයුතු කරන්න තියෙනවා. ඒ නිසා ටික වෙලාවක් දුන්නත් මේ ඔක්කොම හදලා අපිට ආපහු රැස් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. දුරටත් පක්ෂ නායක රැස්වීම් තියලා අපි කාලේ.
Opposition leader Sajid Premadasa said that they need not to waste more time by conducting more party leader meetings. He added that he is willing to respond to the statement delivered by the police and the defense sector. The opposition leader further said that they are ready to discuss on yesterday's incident and it's totally unnecessary to discuss on the issue at separate places. Therefore, they have to look into the matter right now. He questioned whether the shooting equals using minimum force. He also questioned whether murdering amounts to minimum force. He has also questioned whether the state terrorism means enforcing minimum force.
Minister Prasanna Ranatunga said that he extends his regret over the Rambukana incident on behalf of the government headed by the president and his personal sympathies. The unruly behaviour of the crowd has led to the setting of fire to the three-wheeler. There had been attempts to set fire to the browser with 33,000 litres of fuel. The police have controlled the situation according to the powers vested upon them. If the tank fire had taken place, there would not have been Rambukana today. The police have acted according to the police ordinance and police orders. The police had the powers to deal with such a situation under Clause 56 of the police ordinance and Clause 90 of the Penal Code. The main police inspector at the scene was empowered to take a decision under the circumstances. Accordingly, a shooting has taken place to control the crowd. An investigation team has already been appointed under the leadership of the SSP Avisavella. A special committee under the leadership of the Secretary of the State Ministry has also been appointed to look into the matter the police acted in the Rambukana incident. The minister further said they hope to present the report of the committee to Parliament shortly. The minister also said that they have made a request from the Sri Lanka Human Rights Commission to conduct an independent and unbiased investigation into the incident. He said that the police has been acting with great patience and according to the law from the time an attack was launched on the private residence of the president. The security forces have been acting in an extremely democratic manner. He also said that children of those who are shouting are not connected to these issues by any means. He has also expressed regret over using innocent people as scapegoats to fulfill their requirements. The minister also said that they, as a government, is committed for the security of all citizens of the country.
Opposition leader Sajid Premadasa questioned why the fuel in the Bowser was not sold at all prices. He has also questioned as to why the Bowser was parked at the scene for many hours.
Mr. Kanchana Wijayasekara said that the Bowser with the number plate WPLX2735 left the Muthurajawala terminal at 8:20 a.m. yesterday. It was carrying supplies not only to the Rambukana cooperative but to 3 other sales centres, which included Pushpa Kumara filling station in Rambukana and the CTB depot. The tank was not concealing fuel stocks at a time when the prices were still at a low level. The tank reached Rambukana at 11:20 a.m. The people have started blocking the road in Rambukana at the same time. The minister also said that they are not challenging agitations, but requested not to destabilize the supply network. Minister Kanchana Wijayasekara further said that he has telephoned several hospitals today and found out that some do not have enough fuel to operate generators. He added that 534 Bowsers were dispatched to all districts. However, only 50% could be sent yesterday. They are also taking measures to transport fuel by train. The Air Force has agreed to provide security for fuel supply. He added that yesterday's riots could have been an attempt to portray the fact that country was in a destabilized state and at the time of seeking the assistance from IMF.
ඉන්දර සැපයුම සඳහා අවශ්‍ය ආරක්ෂාව දෙන්නම් කියලා අපි ඉල්ලීමක් කරන ඔබතුමාලගේ මේක කඩාකප්පල් කරන්න එපා මේ සැපයුම් ජාලය විශේෂයෙන්ම බවුසර් 534ක් ඊයාව අද වෙනකට අවිලා තියෙන බවුසර් 46යි. ඇයි මේ බවුසර් වල ඉන්න රියදුරන්ට ඒ ඉන්න හිමිකරුවන්ට ජීවිත පිළිබඳව යම්කිසි සැකයක් ඇතිලා තියෙනවා. අපි යුද හමුදාව සහ පොලිසියෙන් ආරක්ෂාව ඉල්ලලා තියෙනවා. කිසිම ආකාරයකින් මේක අපි ප්‍රමාද කරලත් නැහැ. මිල වැඩි වුණාට පස්සේ තමයි ඊයේ උදේ 8:20ට පිටත් වෙච්ච එක 11:20ට කියලා තියෙන්නේ. හැබැයි ඔබතුමුන්නාසලා මේ කරන බාධා කිරීම නිසා හෙට දවසේ අනිත් දවසේ මේ දවස් කීපේ රෝහල් වලට අවශ්‍ය ඉන්ධන ටික නොලැබුණොත් ඒ රෝහල් අක්‍රිය වුණොත් ඔබතුමුන්නාසලා වගකීම ගන්න ඕනේ ජනතාව මරණන් වලට වගකීම ඔබතුමුන්නාසලා ගන්න ඕනේ කියන එකත් අපි වෙලා කියනවා අවශ්‍ය තරම් ඉන්ධන තියෙනවා අපිට ඉන්ධන සැපයුම යථා තත්ත්වයට ඊයේ දවසේට පත් කරන්න තිබුණා ඒක ඔබතුමුන්නාසලා දැක්කා IMF එකට ගියාම රට අස්ථාවරයි කියලා පෙන්වන්න තමයි ඔබතුමුන්නාසලා ඊයේ පාරට බැස්සේ සංවිධානාත්මක මේක කරේ නගරයේ තියෙන CCTV සියල්ලක්
Minister Kanaka Herath said that all CCTV footage would be used to investigate the incident. he requested not to take political advantage at this crucial moment. He has appealed to stop unruly protests.
Parliamentarian Anura Priyadarshini addressing the Parliament has made remarks regarding the floating of the rupee. MP Anura Priyadarshini said that they have summoned the Central Bank and the Monetary Board recently to inquire about the floating of the rupee. He further said that it was the former governor of the Central Bank, Ajit Niwad Cabral, who was fully responsible for the floating of the local currency. The parliamentarian also said that Minister of Finance was not aware of this decision today. Today, the Cabinet is not in a position to fix prices on any item as a result of the arbitrary actions of an individual against the IMF.
Venerable Athuraliye Ratanathera has raised the issue of sending money to Uganda in Parliament today. Venerable Athuraliye Ratanathera said that nobody is talking about the big issue of sending monetary notes to Uganda. Some are saying that money belonging to Uganda. He has requested to resolve the query. State Minister D.V. Chanaka said that Venerable Thera is able to receive clarification from the Customs via Right to Information Act. He had further said the Lorry company located in Biagama is engaged in printing currency notes for the central bank. Therefore, sending of money to Uganda is a fabricated story and there is no truth in it.
The Parliament has discussed on a statement made by opposition leader Sajith Premadasa. Opposition leader Sajith Premadasa said that Speaker has expressed readiness to deal with the resignation of President if all party leaders make a request from the President to resign. Speaker Mahinda Abeyewardene has denied the fact, saying that the opposition leader has misinterpreted his statement.
4 new state ministers have taken oaths before the President at the President's office in Fort yesterday. Suren Raghavan, who has earlier been appointed to the post of State Minister of Educational Services and Reforms, instead has been appointed as the State Minister of Higher Education. Satyajam Vijayalendran, who was sworn in as the State Minister of Youth Affairs and Sports. Shunusri Chandrakanthan was sworn in as the State Minister of Rural Road Development. Mohammad Musharraf took oaths as the State Minister of Textile Industries and Local Garment Manufacturing Promotion. In the meantime, the World Bank says that they are ready to stand by to provide emergency support.
Vice President of World Bank South Asia, Hogwarts Shafa, has indicated that the attention has been directed to provide emergency support for essential medicines and health-related supplies, nutrition and education. In a tweet, Vice President of World Bank South Asia, Hogwarts Shafa, said that a good meeting was held with Finance Minister Ali Sabri and Central Bank Governor Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe yesterday. It has further indicated that discussions over the actions to be taken to address the economic crisis, support stabilization and recovery and protect the vulnerable people were held during the meeting. He has further indicated that the World Bank is deeply concerned about the impacts of the crisis on the poor and vulnerable and stands ready to provide emergency support for essential medicines and health-related supplies, nutrition and education. The International Monetary Fund has said that discussions with Sri Lanka on a potential IMF loan program are at an early stage and any deal would require adequate assurances that the country's debts can be put on a sustainable path. In a statement emailed to Reuters, IMF Sri Lanka Mission Chief Mahashiro Nozaki said that IMF Managing Director Kristalina Georgieva discussed lending options and policy plans with a Sri Lankan delegation yesterday. He has further indicated that an IMF-supported program should be designed to resolve Sri Lanka's acute balance of payments problems and put the economy back on a sustainable growth path soon. He has also said the IMF is concerned about the current economic crisis in Sri Lanka and hardships suffered by people, especially the poor and vulnerable. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa has advised ministers in the fields of education and health sectors to forward a joint cabinet paper on the establishment of a national nurses' university.
He has given the instructions at a discussion held in the Prime Minister's office in Parliament today. The Prime Minister has also pointed out that it is timely act to introduce an internationally acknowledged degree for nurses' education. Presently, females and male nurses are being produced by 17 colleges throughout the island. Attention has also been focused at the meeting on the need to enhance qualitative nature of nurses' education by taking into consideration of services requirements. On this occasion, the officials have enlightened the Prime Minister on the measures to be taken to award an internationally recognized nursing degree, fulfilling the demands in the local and foreign nursing profession. President of the Public Services United Nurses Association, Venerable Muruthutthiwe Anandathera, has also pointed out the need to set up a national nurses university. The Venerable Thera added the association has been presenting requests in this regard from the year 1991. Ministers Ramesh Patrana, Professor Channa Jayasumana and government officials also participated in the discussion.
The Lanka Petroleum Private Tank Owners Association says members of his association will report for duties as usual from tomorrow, as measures have been taken to provide security to all bouses throughout the island. This was disclosed at a media briefing at the association held in Colombo today. Co-Secretary of the Lanka Petroleum Private Tank Owners Association, D.V. Shanta Silva, has expressed concerns over the safety of the drivers and assistants of the association following the incidents that took place yesterday and the day before. He added that telephone discussion have been conducted with the Army Commander on security arrangements, and they have been assured of protection for all tanks and the employees. The Co-Secretary of the association further said that therefore all employees will resume duties in their vehicles. According to the assurance extended, further saying the transport charges for the buses also have been increased. The protest in front of the Presidential Secretariat in the Goal Face Green is being conducted for the 12th day today. People were engaged in agitations last night as well. Agitators who have arrived from numerous parts of the island were seen spending the night by shouting slogans. A group has also maintained a silent protest by switching on the lights of their mobile phones. Now, the vehicle transport has been obstructed in main roads due to agitations in several areas today as well.
People's objections over blocking of roads due to agitations have also been reported. Our correspondent says traffic in Badulla Nuwara Road has been fully obstructed due to protests in Kapitipala town in Valimada today. Another protest has taken place in Kitulgala town, blocking the Hatton-Colombo road today. Fishermen were engaged in a protest blocking the Thangal town. Our correspondent says resulting vehicle transport in Mathura-Kathargam main road was obstructed. A protest had also been organised in Ranjangana junction of the Anuradhapura Puttalam main road. An agitation blocking the Mathura-Colombo main road was held near Mahanagama Bridge until the last night. The police used tear gas to disperse the crowd. Protesters have been throwing stones at the police. Some protesters damaged a bus belonging to Akurasta depot. Residents have blocked a protest and agitation conducted in Digana, blocking several roads. The residents requested to engage in protest after opening the road.
The Postal Department has decided to provide a grace period until the 23rd of this month without the payment of the additional charges for the police traffic fines which were unable to be paid due to the 11th and 12th being public holidays. Postmaster General Ranjit Aryaratna says the relief period until 23rd of this month has been extended subject to the approval of the Secretary to the Ministry of Finance, disregarding the fact of doubling of fines during the period. Accordingly, traffic fines imposed from the 29th of March to the 12th of April could be paid at any post office or sub-post office without additional charges until the 23rd of this month.
325 employees in garment factory in Koggala have been admitted to Karapitiya Teaching Hospital in Galle for treatment for food poisoning. The male and female workers became allergic after having their midday meal yesterday. Director of the Karapitiya Hospital, Dr. Sheldon Pereira, said that the group of workers has shown disease symptoms as vomiting, stomach and body pains. Food and water samples of the meals of the employees have been forwarded to the relevant medical authorities for further investigation. The investigations are jointly conducted by the Office of Director of Galle District Health Services and the Office of Medical Office in Habaradua. We'll be back with foreign news after a short break.
Creama Kottumi, hot and spicy.
Now on to sports news. At first, we are looking at the football industry in Sri Lanka. Right now, the president of the Football Association, Joshua Omar, has said that the tenure of the coach of Sri Lanka national football team, Amir Alge, expires at the end of this month. He made these remarks at a media briefing held today.
Mr. Amir Alge and Football Federation, in consultation with FIFA, we have now come to an agreement to end the contract and the services of Amir Alge from end of this month. As you know, the country is facing a lot of economical and social turbulences at this time. So we have brought in Mr. Amir Alajic from Bosnia on the 15th of February 2020. He took control of the national team and he has revamped the national team to a different culture. He brought in different training and a training platform and a professional culture within the national team, which is more or less equivalent to European standard. We have seen lately that there has been tremendous improvement in Sri Lankan national team. So this is all about Mr. Amir Alajic's hard work, his philosophies, his effort, along with other coaches and the players. So as a result, after 18 years, Sri Lankan national team has won a medal. We were happy, although we would have got a championship, but at least we were happy we became the runner-up after 18 years. So this is all credit go to the players and to Amir Alajic as a coach and to his staff as well. So he has accomplished a lot of things in a short period of time, but the results are yet to come in future. But he has laid a good foundation, starting from renovating the training center at Badagana in a modern place, training structure, nutrition, and a brand new analyzing system using the technology, and all that being initiated by Amir Alajic. So we are grateful and we are thankful as a country, as footballers and administrators to his contribution, his services, which is a good foundation for us.
I'm sorry, I'm a little bit emotional, it's not easy, I'm telling you. After starting something, and turned to be very positive, especially after election from Mr. Jaswar. For me, highlight of these 26 months was India game, giving us a lot of compliments after the game. And I was mentioning that part because I want to pay the tribute to Daksan Puslis because I was very close to him. We lost a great gentleman, fantastic player. Sri Lanka will take another maybe 50 years to get such a player. But this is highlight, a game against India after so many years and having Puslis at that time and his best, and unfortunately what happened before, that was a highlight.
Creema Kottumi, hot and spicy, Nava Vasara.
That's it for tonight's English News Telecast. Thank you for joining us. Good night.
अगर तेरा मेरा कोई कनेक्शन है तो अगली बार जब बारिश होगी हम अपने आप में जाएंगे।